What's going on, TEI family? I thought I'd come to you guys to talk a little bit about this Shein lawsuit. Now, I am thankful for my supporters who send me information to talk about, especially from an intellectual property perspective. I must admit that I don't watch a lot of TV these days. I don't watch a lot of news, especially since football and basketball and some of the other sporting events that I like have been on hiatus. I don't get a chance to watch much TV or news these days. So, it was good to be able to get this sent to me and talk about and try to break down from an intellectual property perspective. And I've never heard of Shein, to be honest with you guys. Apparently, it's an online retailer based out of China, and they sell different clothing, apparel, things like that. It seems like in this lawsuit, and I'm gonna break down by going through this article with you guys, but just kind of give you guys a little bit of background. Seems like what they were doing were they were taking smaller copyright owners' work, and they were essentially selling them on their platform and making a lot of money off of them. And apparently, they had an algorithm that were helped were allowed them to help them get identify up and coming artists, popular different pieces, popular designs, so that they can essentially take and uh, and sell on their own and make a lot of money from it. So again, this is also an interesting twist because they are being sued for Rico for the Rico Act, which if you know anything about the Rico racketeering laws, they were really put in place to catch mobsters or street gangs. I personally have never heard it used or saw it used from in a corporation standpoint to go after a corporation. So going through this article to be interesting to see how that is tied into it. But essentially, as I said before, Shein, which is in $100 billion company, they were pretty much taking designs of up and coming artists, which they, I would assume that they thought, okay, we have less likely to go after Joe Smith, who's up and coming artist, as opposed to a big retailer or a big artist and try to, essentially take their uh, designs and sell them on their website. So let's go through this article really quickly. I'm gonna pull it up here. Give me a second. Give me a second. Hopefully, you guys can see that. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So let's go through it. Let's go through it here. So Sheen targeted in a RICO lawsuit alleging systematic and criminal activity. And again, as I said before, China-based fashion, a giant accused of carrying out large-scale and systematic intellectual property theft. So, what intellectual property does this consist of, or does this deal with? This deals with copyright. So, just kind of give you guys a little bit of history on copyright. I talked about it in the previous videos. Copyright is an original work of authorship that is fixed in a tangible medium. So, an original work of authorship means that has to be original to you. Now, if Sheen somehow created these works on their own, then even though they were the same as these up and coming artists' works, they are not liable for copyright infringement at that standpoint because they came up with the works or created these works on their own. But as you will see in the article, as I read a little bit further, you can tell that they had some knowledge of these up and coming artists' work, of the pieces that these up and coming artists were putting out, which yeah, it makes it definitely a lot more interesting as it relates to the works not being original to Sheen. So again, you have to have an original work of authorship, and then it has to be fixed in a tangible medium. What is the tangible medium? It can be a piece of paper, it can be a rug, whatever that work is fixed in. Again, for example, if you create a design, create a picture, and you put it on a pad of paper, then the actual pad of paper is the tangible medium that the original work of authorship is fixed in. Another thing that we know from previous videos on copyright infringement is that it doesn't have to be filed with the Copyright Office for you to have a copyright on it. As soon as that original work of authorship is fixed in a tangible medium, you automatically have a copyright. Now, to be able to take advantage of copyright infringement or bring in suit against someone for your copyright, you have to have it registered with the Copyright Office. But the fact that you fix on that piece of paper, you paint that work on a paint pad, that automatically gives you a copyright without having to file it with with the Copyright Office, with the United States Copyright Office. So let's go through this article really quickly here. Controversial fashion giant Shein is accused of committing systematic and repeated copyright infringement against independent designers, which I said, independent designers in a federal lawsuit that equates as global business practices to organized crime, which is crazy. The lawsuit filed Tuesday in California on behalf of 3 U.S. artists. So it seems like at the beginning here, at least 3 artists are bringing suit versus Shein. Claims that the China-based online retailer had knowingly carried out large-scale and systematic intellectual property theft. So that's what they're saying. They're saying that Shein is committing intellectual property theft in a civil violation of the Federal RICO Act. Which again, like I said, this is crazy because typically the RICO Act is used against mobsters, used against street gangs, not so much to businesses. But in this case, they're saying that, hey, this business was creating racketeering activities, this intellectual property theft, and furtherance of this ongoing criminal activity, which is man, it's an interesting thing to have it be used in this light. Let's read some more of this article. So it says Shein has grown rich. So they said, man, they have made a lot of money based off this this federal RICO this activity that they've been participating in. Shein has grown rich by committing individual infringements over and over again as part of a long and continuous pattern of racketeering. There's some serious stuff, which shows no sign of abating, which they say, hey, they're not slowing down. They're going to continue to do this until you court or you judge put your foot down and make them pay for it from a financial standpoint. Again, as I said above, this is a civil case. So that means that they're asking for money. They're not asking for Shein or different no employees of Shein to be jailed. At least at this point, they're not doing so. They're saying, hey, Shein needs to pay up monetarily. They need to give money to these artists that they've been making money off of for so long. So it's no exaggeration to suggest that Shein's pattern of misconduct involves commission of new copyright and trademark infringements every day. They're saying that they're committing this copyright and trademark infringement every day, which is crazy. Okay, here we go. So this is it looks like the picture to the left here is one of the designers uh of these overalls. And it seems like to the right here is on Shein's website that hey, it looks pretty similar to me. So again, it'll be, the Shein is gonna have their work cut out for them. It seems like in this case, because these different works of authorship seems pretty interesting to me. And the tangible medium in this case is the actual overall. So the design is actually the copyright, and then it fixing a tangible medium, which is in this case the clothing apparel or the overall is the tangible medium. Just so you guys are following. So it says Rico originally created, as I said earlier, for mob prosecutions in the 70s, can be used by individuals and organizations to file civil claims against racketeering activities that are performed as an ongoing criminal enterprise, which I mentioned earlier. In Shein's case, the company accused of utilizing a secret algorithm that identifies emerging fashion trends before they widely catch on. It then reproduces these styles for profit, all while stealing the artist's uncredited work, which is serious allegations here. Again, at this point, the lawsuit's 3 plaintiffs share side-by-side comparisons of their copyrighted work with Shein's merchandise, which they said was illegally produced. Which again, the work on the left here is from the up-and-coming artist. This pattern that's on the rug and again, Shein's rug that is selling on this website. Again, it looks pretty interesting. Is it a original work of authorship? Again, if Shein created this without knowing or on its own, even though it's the same pattern, the same design, the same copyright work, Shein is okay. But if which the plaintiffs in this case is going to have to show that it wasn't, they didn't create it on their own, but they essentially knew about the up and coming artist's work. They actually copied that work and are selling it for profit. That's the thing. And again, if Shein created these works on their own, even though the works are the same, then they are okay and not committing copyright infringement. But if they knew about these works and they copied them with the knowledge that this design, that this copyrighted work was out there, then at that point that brings them in a line of copyright infringement, which they can be held liable for. So let's continue reading. The attorney who was representing the artist said it's possible more artists and designers could join the suit, which is interesting given the attention this lawsuit is receiving. We are already receiving a number of calls from. So they're saying more people are calling them saying, hey, Shein stole my work too. And I want to be included in this lawsuit to get paid. So this is again, Shein is going to have their work cut out. It seems like Shein is responding, saying Shein takes all claims of infringement seriously, and they plan to take swift action when the complaints are raised by valid IP right holders. So let's see here. Perry, this is another one. You can see the left is the up and coming artist work, make it fun. And this seems like they Shein, as you can see on their website, has allegedly copied this right. I mean, copied his copyright and put it on some type of a picture frame to sell on his website. So this is Perry. So I guess again we're right here. Like this work to the left here is from an artist named Perry, which says one of the said her copyrighted work was twice ripped off by Shein. After the first time, which resulted in Shein offering $500 compensation. So this where it gets interesting because Shein is saying, okay, I'll give you some money. Why are you giving money if this was legal? I know if one thing if I'm doing something legally and I am doing it the right way, I'm not offering someone else compensation for them to go away. So that makes it interesting. The fact that Shein is offering this artist or this copyrights owner money, $500 in this case, as a result of maybe some alleged copying going on. Let's continue to read. So after the first time, which resulted in Shein offering $500 compensation, the company reached out to ask if it could feature her work in its merchandise. So if at first it said, "Hey, okay, we'll give you $500 if you let us use your work in our showcase." What did the artist say, or the copyright owner say? No, Perry declined. Said, "No, I'm not going for it. Y'all not using my work," while citing Shein's past unauthorized use of their work. So they say, "Hey, this is not the first time you guys did this." Perry, this copyright owner, is saying, "Hey, you guys have been copying my work for a long time. This is not the first time you guys are doing this, and no, you guys are not going to give me $500 and make me go away and continue to use my work." So, I mean, again, Shein is, based on what we're reading here, they definitely have their work cut out. Cut out. So it says later, Perry said she saw that the company was again selling her copycat products on her work without permission or payment. This is crazy. The lawsuit alleges that Shein specifically targets the work of lesser-known artists who are less likely to catch wind and theft, take legal action, or who will likely settle for a small payment if caught. So it seems like, hey, they saying that based on the way Shein is operating, they're going for these low hanging fruit to be able to take their copyright subject matter, and if they are caught, they're going to offer them a little bit of compensation to make them go away, or they're banking on the fact that since this is a small up and coming art copyright owner with most likely not a lot of funds, and they're not going to be able to hire attorneys and bring suit, as opposed to going maybe for bigger corporations or more well-known artists who have the money to to pony up for an attorney to bring copyright infringement suit. So this is interesting what's being alleged. When Shein copies a small or independent designer, the most likely outcome is that the infringement will go unnoticed, which again I was saying earlier. Under those circumstances, Shein reaps all the benefits of stealing and featuring the design that its technology had identified as valuable enough to take. That's crazy. It makes sales and keeps its customers' eyes glued to the Shein site and app for that much longer. So what the lawsuit is alleging. The suit is just the latest to blacken the company, which has also been investigated for utilizing unlawful sweatshop labor practices. So I'm not going to get into that. I think we are all set with this article. Let me stop sharing my screen. So yeah, this is interesting stuff, TEI family. I'll keep my eye on this. Thanks for continuing to send me information, send me the articles to talk about. I'll continue to look to do that going forward. Hopefully, I'm providing some valuable information. Again, this Shein lawsuit is something that hopefully puts everyone on notice that, hey, it's not okay for bigger corporations to take small copyright owners' work, and that you should look to protect your copyright at all time because it's valuable, and especially if a big corporation is taking it, that shows you how valuable it is. So I'll continue to keep an eye out on this lawsuit. I'll bring you updates, and hopefully you guys got something out of this video. All right, peace.